Hey everybody, you are tuning in to the Canary Cry News Talk live stream pre-stream. Thanks for being here. We're going to get the show started in just a second here, so stick around. Make sure to grab some water because hydration is important for the healthy and correct operation of our cells. Okay. Oh, it looks like there was an error with the email. That's not very good, but I am sending out the text message now. Hopefully everybody will get the message that the show is starting. Just a reminder, head on over to canarycry.party and sign up for that newsletter. That'll be very important for the future of your information. We send all the sources and art straight to your email box before every show. While you're at it, we are coming up on the cutoff date to sign up for the Canary Cry supply drop. We'll have more information on that, and we are just about locked in for what will be included in that this quarter. It's very exciting. But with all that being said, let's get this show started, baby. Let's go.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is August 17th, 2022, and we are live to tape on episode 523. And today, PSYOP Queen, or PSYOP Queen, and signing on from off the grid, Razzle Dazzle, your best buddy Basil.
And my name is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, a.k.a. the Cabana Boy, live from California, here to serve you a podcast that brings you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And today's emergent phenomenon is a simulation. A simulation. You know how, that phrase, speak it into existence?
Yeah, name it and claim it, baby.
Yeah, maybe I think the elite are doing simulate it into existence.
Yes, well, there are some occult precedents for that. So let me give you a rundown and we can jump right into it.
Let's do it.
All right, well, like Gonz mentioned, we are going to be talking a little bit more about the sentient world simulation, something we've been talking about for just about a decade now, but continues to make headway in the elite circles of our world. Then, of course, FLIPPY being used for anti-Ruski propaganda. We'll check in on that. Then a little bit of a breakdown with the PSYOP, baby. QAnon psychological operations continue to take take place, and just in time for the midterms. Now, a little bit of an update on the Trump Mar-a-Lago raid, as well as the Beast system, and how they are, well, let's just say, running their own simulation on how climate change can be an effective way to structure the new society. Then we are going to be calling some audibles during the COVID section, mainly because we're trying not to turn off YouTube, but we will just see how that goes. And then at the end of the show, of course, checking in, it's going to be biblical, baby. But, Gons, before all of that, let's get into our lead stories.
Yes. Okay, I thought you had something else here. No? Okay.
No.
All right, well, it's basically a Russia story.
Russia.
Basically, and it's also called it. It's kind of Ukraine a little bit.
Fight for Ukraine. New world order.
Ooh, you know what it...
Yeah.
Oh, is there more?
Yeah. Well, yeah. But go ahead.
Keep it going.
I was just going to say it's also sentient world simulation, which I got a clip from our 2012 episode, just so people realize that we did actually talk about this in 2012.
The sentient world simulation, a continuously running, continually updated mirror model of the real world that can be used to predict and evaluate future events and courses of action.
There you go.
Wow, you sound so young and vibrant.
Yeah, bro,
in that
I was just
clip.
I was riding waves, man.
We
I
were
was just
much
more chill,
more
bro.
the California boys that we were back in 2012.
Yeah.
You know, I know you don't have this lined up, so no pressure, but also a bit of a hive mind update as well.
Oh, yeah, okay. I don't have it lined up.
Yeah. So this is coming from, well, why don't you tell us about it, guys?
Okay, yeah, this is from CBSNews.com. Headline here: nuclear war between the U.S. and Russia would kill more than 5 billion people just from starvation. Study finds.
Oh, no.
Yeah, good. You know, it's always studies. The toll of nuclear war would be instantly catastrophic for those who are within the immediate path of the weapon. But a new study shows just how deadly the scope of such a war would be. A nuclear blast would cause worldwide famine, according to the study, published in Nature Food on Monday, as massive amounts of soot would block sunlight, disrupt climate systems, and limit food production.
Oh,
Quote,
no.
It would be a global catastrophe for food security, the authors said. And it goes on, it gives all the details that we don't have to necessarily jump into.
I mean, you can assume the whole thing. I mean, they basically gave it to you there. Nuke's bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The largest scenario examined a weeks-long war involving 4,400 weapons and 150 TG, or 330.6 billion pounds of soot.
33.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, it keeps going on here. It talks about the climate and the fish and the catastrophe and all this kind of stuff. Lead author Lili Jia, a climate scientist at Rutgers University, told Nature that the situation would be, quote, really bad. I think anybody can tell you that. I don't think you need to be a climate scientist to say a nuclear war between two nations, the two of the more powerful nations, would be bad. Quote, a large percentage of the people will be starving, they said. The findings are a result of looking at a range of scenarios. The scientists considered whether people would continue to farm animals or use any remaining crops to feed people instead. They also assumed that people would repurpose biofuel crops for human consumption, that food waste would be limited.
Wait, what are biofuel crops? Oh, like growing corn for ethanol or something.
Yeah,
probably,
yeah.
Right?
That food waste would be limited and that global food trade would halt as nations tried to save their own. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it goes on, and there's a part at the end here. Alex Wellerstein, historian and professor at the Stevens Institute of Technology, said that it's not in the interests of U.S. enemies to get involved with such actions, but he said it should still be a concern. Quote, future problems are brewing, he said. I guarantee it.
Ooh, guaranteed. Future problems are brewing.
Future problems guaranteed. Again, it doesn't take a climate or whatever, the scientists to tell you that, but okay.
So people who've been listening to the show recently, they know that we've covered a number of stories like this.
Yeah.
And some may not remember, but in about 2012, there were a number of articles being released from the major outlets, basically centering around how a nuclear blast would, could reverse climate change, reverse, global warming, et cetera, et cetera. And it was kind of crazy. And those same articles started circulating again recently over social media, and just nobody looked at the date on the article. And the date was literally 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They were talking about how climate change could be reversed by a small nuclear war. That was kind of the stipulation. We just need a little nuclear war as a treat.
Nuke. Yeah.
And that would save us from climate change. But recently, over the past couple months, especially thanks to the Ukraine crisis, there's been tons of articles. And the interesting part of it coming from different scientific journals. Mm-hmm. So you've got like the Journal of Climate Change, the Journal of Food.
Yeah, Nature Food is where this came from. Well, it's nature.com, but it's just the food,
Right. The section, right?
Yeah.
So it's coming from all angles, different industries, everybody putting their own spin on why a nuclear war would be bad. I find the food one interesting because we've been talking about, eating bugs, 3D printed meats.
Yeah, synthetic meats.
Synthetic foods. All our food can be made in a lab. We don't even need to grow agriculture or ranch cattle or anything like that. So it sounds like, if a nuclear winter did destroy crops and stuff, it would be a wonderful opportunity for individuals, like Bill Gates, who has been investing in lab-grown meat and stuff like this for many years. They would be you'd overnight become some sort of food sultan, who would be controlling the entire world's food supply because nobody can grow their own food. I mean, it sounds like a pretty good business model to me.
It sounds like a threat too, because of COVID and the supply chain and all that. There has been sort of a farm food revolution trying to take place anyway, where the Beyond Meat stuff, nobody's eating it, nobody's buying that stuff, and so as a consequence, they need more science to sort of fund that kind of operation. And maybe the big threat is, hey, if you guys don't comply with the fake food stuff, we'll just pull the plug on the nukes, and then you guys will be forced into that kind of food production.
Right. It's a good, it's almost like the climate change threat isn't as scary as they were hoping. Not, especially with the inflation and the economy, everybody's way more worried about the price of food, the price of gas, and not worried about climate change. So they're like, oh, well, okay, if climate change isn't getting you there, if the nukes go off, then we'll really be sorry.
Yeah,
now,
go ahead.
This was the article regarding the study. Did you take a look at the actual study?
Yeah. So the actual study, nature.com, the article is titled Global Food Insecurity and Famine from Reduced Crop, Marine Fishery, and Livestock Production Due to Climate Disruption from Nuclear War, Soot Injection. And in the article, it mentions the word simulation 23 times.
Right. So they got their little world sentient simulation running.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious when you start looking at it. It's like, oh, these models. It talks about this one climate model. I got into the weeds reading this thing, and there's a climate 5 crop. There's the CESM simulation, and they're trying to. It's like the most prominent climate model and stuff like that. It's like, who says who? Who decided that? Based on what?
I love? You know what I love about all these? There's, like I said, there's been a number of these studies recently, and they all include like 10,000 nukes. They're like, what would happen if we set off
all the
5
nukes?
to 10,000 nukes all at once, a huge nuclear disaster.
Nuke train party.
But like the only time that nukes have ever been used have been, 2 in a couple days, which was Nagasaki and Hiroshima, of course.
Yeah.
And just those 2, which were extremely small compared to the bombs we have now, extremely small explosions, ended the war immediately, more or less. And boom, it's all over. And on top of that, there are nuclear tests going on around the world all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, many times a year, different countries. I mean, just the U.S. alone sets off a bunch of nukes.
Right.
So it's interesting because you can't say, oh, well, if we had one nuclear strike from Russia or a couple even, you can't say that it would completely destroy the ecosystem.
Right. It's got to be a free-for-all. It's got to be
we're setting off a couple of nukes every year or something like that.
Yeah.
You cannot fearmonger. I just think it matches so well just the world that we live in, the online culture, the outrage, the bringing threats to their logical conclusions or illogical conclusions, where it's like, we can't quite get too worried about a couple of nukes going on. So let's simulate what would happen if all of them went off at the exact same time. That way we can get people freaked out.
Yeah, and a couple things that derived from this, DailyMail.co.uk had the headline, "Want to survive nuclear war? Go to Argentina, South American countries, best place to survive." Kind of like the thinking is very Hitlerian, Hitler
go to Argentina.
And they have that portway to Antarctica, which makes me think they're trying to prepare Antarctica as sort of a safe haven during the nuclear Royal Rumble.
That would be I think that connects it all together. Perfect. We figured it out.
Yeah. And then you also have the Newsweek article here that's kind of fun. We don't have to go through the whole thing, but the headline here, Putin ally promotes nuclear strike on NATO to counter military superiority. So, of course. Yeah, it's it's going to be Putin's fault when this thing happens. Not the West, not NATO, not the U.S. It's Putin. Putin's the bad guy.
Yeah.
You guys need to realize Putin bad guy.
Yeah, we know this. You know what else? You know what else is Putin's fault?
Oh, boy, what?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday's Putin's fault.
Yeah.
Hey guys, know what date it is? It's Wednesday. It's time for the Canary Cry News Talk. Yeehaw!
It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dude. Wednesday, my dudes.
Wow, the Wednesday jingle mixtape continues to grow. Thank you very much for that there, Gons. Yes, it's Wednesday, folks. We're halfway through the week already. I don't know how. Definitely we're living in some sort of time warp. And that's okay. We're getting along anyways. Anything interesting happened since the last episode there, Gons?
I went to the post office. And I walked in.
Whoa, bro.
Hey. I walked into the post office. And I saw these big fans on these computers. They're mining Bitcoin at the post office.
Wait, are you serious?
Well, it wasn't the U.S. post office. It was like a FedEx kind of mail place. But yeah, they're mining Bitcoin, and it's all out in the open. They got the computers there. I'm like, wow,
what?
This is very interesting.
Did you ask them? What do you mean?
No,
were they ant miners? You could see on the side of the thing. It said Bitcoin miner.
Right. Yeah, and they had the screen there. You can see they got the BTC mining operation, the whole the code lines moving and all that kind of stuff.
What?
Yeah, it's happening, bro.
Was this like an independently run mail thing?
It doesn't
or was it
look
like
a
FedEx or UPS or?
It's got the FedEx sign. It didn't look like an independent place, but maybe it was. I don't know.
Well, you got to know the name. If it's, I forget
it's like mail something. Maybe it is independent.
Yeah, if it's like mail something, it's probably an independently owned little, mail box zone. Right, sure. I don't know what they're called. We got a few where I'm at too. That's interesting. Well, what an entrepreneur running a while. Mm-hmm. We came of age during the major recent obsession with side hustles, entrepreneurship, the tech booms, things like this. It's just part of our generation.
Yeah.
And in that, I actually know a guy who got into starting these little independent mail post offices. You know, they're not official government post offices or anything. You know, they're named like Mail Guy Plus, Mail Zone, come get your mail, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they just provide mail services, and all they do is just pop it in their mailbox, and then the post office picks it up. But, you know, you could buy your packaging, ship stuff out, stuff like that.
Right.
Why was I bringing this up? Oh, yeah. So, you know, it's a ton of these little independent mailbox companies would pop up, and they're all owned by, you know, side hustling millennials who are it was just an easy business to kind of start up, and nobody likes going to the post office. So this was a nice little thing.
So they got the cell phone case booth at the mall.
Yeah.
And then the kiosk, and then they also have the mail boat.
That is so funny. Mail boat. Yeah. And so of course, you know, you're going to get some entrepreneurial millennial starting mail boat. He's going to mine some Bitcoin while he's at it. Or she. Okay, ladies, you can do it too.
Equal opportunists.
Wow, well, that's way more interesting than anything that's happened to me over the past couple days. Although I probably, as a result of you going to this mailbox company, I received a package from Producer Pinky.
All right.
Thank you very much, Producer Pinky.
Thank you, Producer Pinky.
And I left the thing in my kitchen, so I can't show it to you, but I want to thank Producer Pinky for the gift. It's I think they were supposed to be planters or something, but I'm using them as coffee holders. And it was a little ceramic red mug, basically, that said Razzle Dazzle Basil on it.
Whoa.
Yeah, and she just found it while shopping.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody, one more opportunity stolen from me by the capitalistic market. They're encroaching on my brand. They are, I don't know if I'm just ahead of my time or I am somehow the number one most profitable person to steal their intellectual property. But somebody put Razzle Dazzle Basil on I think it's like a little herb planter thing, but I'm using it for coffee. So that's fun. Thank you very much, Producer Pinky, for that
appreciate
nice
that
gift. And just because we always get somebody asking whenever we mention mail, you can find our P.O. box over at canarycryradio.com/support if you have some fun little thing to send Gonzarai.
Yep.
And with that, Gons, we got some more people to thank, some executive producers.
Executive producers.
That's right. We're on the value for value model, which means we take no corporate money whatsoever. No platform partnerships, advertisements, affiliate codes, nothing. We are entirely funded by people like you who get value out of this show. And when they understand the value for value model's true spiritual power over the principalities that are trying to control our everyday information flow through corporate funding, that's when they realize, hey, if I get value out of this show, I need to put value back in. It's the only way we continue. And the executive producers are people we like to thank extra hard because they go a long way to keeping this show going, and they carry a heavy burden, a heavy load when other producers cannot. So you ready to thank them?
Yes.
Okay, we're starting out with executive producer PB and Jamie.
PB and Jamie, or Jamie.
Jamie, yes. Thank you very much, PB and Jamie.
Yeah, I like
think
that.
It's Jamie, yeah. Came in with $144.44 plus fees.
Nice.
Thank you very much,
Thank
executive producer PB and Jamie. And there's a note here. Hello, Basil and Gons. I'm blessed by your show. The deep deconstruction of the clown world we live in, laced with your humor and animation, keeps me coming back for more. And more.
Ooh.
Keep up the superb work, guys. God bless. PB and Jamie. Thank you very much, executive producer PB and Jamie.
Where'd you find this?
Thank you, PB and Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it.
We had another executive producer come in right before the show, and we're going to thank them now, which is executive producer Fuego Stomper.
Ooh, Fuego Stomper. I like that.
These are fun executive producer names. PB and Jamie and Fuego Stomper. Executive producer Fuego Stomper came in with $111.11 plus fees. And a note. Thank you very much for that, Fuego Stomper. A note that says this was a $111.11 donation for the best little old podcast I ever did hear. Your brother in Jesus, Fuego Stomper, extinguisher of fiery darts.
Ooh.
I like it. He's like almost got a knight name already picked out.
Yeah, it's a predetermined knighthood name. He's foretold the future.
Well, with the 11111, they are already on their way to getting that knighthood at the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames. So, nobody asked for a demooching, but I don't recognize either of these names. Should we do a demooching? They didn't. I don't know. See, our protocol is you got to ask for the demooching, but we do like doing it. Well, thank you very much, executive producer PB and Jamie and Fuego Stomper.
And this is for Fuego Stomper.
Where'd you find this?
Thank you for both.
Okay, and with that, Gons. Oh, I do want to mention the meetups. Let's play that meetup jingle. Hey.
Canary Cry meetup.
All right, folks, the meetups keep rolling in. If you are, let me just run through the list here. This month, on the 24th, we've got the Knoxville, Tennessee meetup. On the 27th, we've got the Houston, Galveston meetup. On the 27th and 28th, respectively, we've got the Ozark and Branson, Missouri meetup. And then on the 27th, again, we've got the Garland, Texas meetup. Incredible amount of meetups going on here. So head to canarycrymeetups.com and you can find the information for those as well as the contact information if you have any questions or to RSVP. We also had another meetup get sent in to us. This is awesome. Where is my note here? Here it is. This was from producer Chibi. Is going to have a meetup. Let's see what it says here. Hello, Basil and Gons. I'm thinking we can start at the coffee shop. Oh, there was a bunch of stuff in here. Okay, coffee shop and perhaps migrate to Harriet Island Park nearby for a hike or get a bite to eat somewhere around there instead. Cosetas, anyone? I don't know what that is, but I'm in. No more excuses. I want to meet some Canarians. It's lonely out here in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Okay, so Chibi's, we got a Minnesota meetup.
Minnesota.
Happening. Yes, Minnesota, St. Paul, Minnesota. And I believe that will be on the 24th of September.
Yes.
So the meetups are starting to... September is starting to look like a pretty busy month for meetups too. So this is awesome.
Back to school.
That's right. So there you go, everybody. We got meetups, a bunch of meetups coming up in the next couple weeks here. We got a bunch in September. Go to these meetups. It's really important to meet with other Canarians, people in your area who listen to the show. Not only can you meet your best friends or your soulmates there, but you'll also meet people, if things go really south in the world, you'll have your apocalypse partners all picked out as well.
Yeah.
And remember, you can put on your own meetup. Go to canarycrymeetups.com, see if there's one near you. If there's not one near you, put one on yourself. It's easy. All you got to do is email us. Just pick a date. Pick an activity. I mean, people are just going to restaurants, going to coffee. You don't have to get as extravagant as, what was it? The Pennsylvania meetup was out of this world. So you don't have to go nuts. Just pick a time, pick a place. Let us know about it. And
you have cut out. Are you still talking? Uh-oh. I think we lost Basil permanently. We do not have any audio from you, buddy. Okay.
That was weird.
Oh, there you go. Now you're back.
I have no idea why that happened. The mute button got hit on Skype. That doesn't make any sense.
Oh, that's the CIA guy on your computer, apparently.
Yeah.
Doesn't want people to go to meetups.
Has a remote control on my mute button.
All right.
Anyways, I was just saying, put on your own meetup. It's very important. See you at the meetup.
This is fun!
right.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right. The Flippy update is here, and you're also very excited about it. The Flippy update is, I have completely forgotten how this goes. How does it start?
the
Flippy
pitch?
update. Yeah.
You forgot the pitch?
Whoa, it's erased from
Flippy
my brain.
is a colloquial name
there we go.
for the
Thank you.
disembodied robot arms
Flippy,
that are
if
taking
you
our
don't
jobs.
know, okay. Flippy, if you don't know, is the colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world, and how there's nothing we can do about it. Wow, I've said that thousands of times, and it was just erased from my mind.
Yeah.
Maybe, the same CIA handler
they're
who
doing some mind
muted my
control thing.
Skype, shot me with the Havana gun or something.
Right.
All right, this one's coming from Newsweek, Newsweek.com. The headline, Deadly War Robot Showcased by Russia is actually a pet dog bot. Oh, weird. Weird. Okay, so remember, Newsweek, as we've learned from the, Harvard.edu mainstream media ownership chart, is more or less just CIA.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it says unclear funding, secret funding of a major corporate news media outlet. Okay, yeah, totally fine, totally legit. Spun off from International Business Times, famous CIA intelligence agency outlet, propaganda outlet. So yes, this is from the U.S. government would like us to read this headline. Deadly war robot showcased by Russia is actually a pet robot dog. And it goes like this. There's a little video here. It's kind of fun. A new Russian RPG launching robot is in fact a modified Chinese home dog bot, according to an investigation. An investigation, Gons. The M81 robot dog, which is armed with an RPG-26 rocket launcher, was displayed at the Army 2022 International Military Technical Forum, a major arms fair in Moscow this week. Video of the dog walking, sitting down, and standing up went viral on social media after being published by Russian news agency RIA Novosti. Reposted on Twitter by Rob Lee, an expert on the Russian military at the Foreign Policy Research Institute, a U.S. think tank.
Yeah, think tanks.
You have an American. Well, I guess maybe not an American. You have an academician tweeting about a robot dog. It received more than 500,000 views and 1,900 retweets. However, according to The Insider, an online newspaper that specializes in exposing fake news in the Russian media. Really? That's your specialization? Exposing fake news in Russian media? The robot dog is a modified Go-1 bot made by the Chinese company Unitree Robotics.
Go-1 or Goy?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah. It's the number one the number one Goy bot, which is essentially a toy. Quote, despite the fact that at the representation, the robot was wrapped in a black costume, thanks to its appearance, the M81 complex was easily recognized as the Go-1 bot made by the Chinese company Unitree Robotics by the octagonal shape of its head and by the front cameras, which could be seen through the cover. Quote,
looks like a ninja.
Yeah, a little ninja robot dog. The Goy bot has been available on sale now for over a year in two variants, costing between $2,700 and $3,500. The M81 robot dog was produced by Intellect Machines, JSC, at St. Petersburg-based company headed by Alexei Aristov. In a Telegram post, its designers commented, quote, this is a sample of the M81 robotic system capable of conducting aimed shooting and transporting weapons. And for civilian purposes, it can be used in an emergency zone for reconnaissance, passage through rubble, and delivery of medicines. Quote, when used in combat, the robotic dog can also be engaged in target designation, patrolling, and security. According to its manufacturers, Goibot can carry a maximum weight of 3 kilograms. That's 6.6 pounds. That's not very much. The Insider reports this means it can carry an RPG-26 launcher, as seen in the video, but not one loaded with a rocket, as it pushes the weight up to 4.7 kilograms.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It is also unable to operate on rough or wet terrain and is vulnerable to hacking.
Useless. Useless.
Yeah, we can hack them. Speaking at the arms fair on Monday, President Vladimir Putin said Russia has weapons that are, quote, decades ahead of their foreign counterparts. He said, quote, we are talking about high-precision weapons and robotics, combat systems based on new physical principles. Quote, many of them are years, perhaps even decades ahead of their foreign counterparts.
Trump or Putin? Or,
Putin.
I guess the same, I guess.
The Trump of Russia. And significantly superior in terms of tactical and technical characteristics. Putin said last month that the Russian Navy, and then it goes on to other stuff. So, this is very interesting. Look, we've been following Boston Dynamics' robot dog Spot, who, Spot has been armed with many different military-grade weapons.
Well, they're not supposed to. Not supposed
to. I mean, recently, because of Ukraine, there's a little bit less of a stigma against arming robot dogs. So a couple of things. Number one, yes, they're at a convention, an arms convention, and they said it was a sample. And you know what? If you're doing a sample, yeah, you just get a little $2,700 robot dog, slap a grenade launcher on the back or a rocket launcher, and, it's a fun little thing to put next to your booth at the arms convention. Get some attention, get some social media buzz. Okay. But I find it fascinating that Newsweek, which all evidence points to being a United States intelligence agency outlet, would go so far as to call...
The need to debunk.
The need... Right, thank you. That's kind of what it is. The need... even to feel the urge to debunk this is so silly.
Yeah. It's pretty low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit. We know that these robot dogs, they're called platforms. They're literally just a platform. You can put whatever you want on it. You can put a robotic arm to brush your teeth. You can put a rocket launcher to take out, tanks. You can put an assault rifle to, to go sneak into the Kremlin or something. You can do all sorts of things with these robot dogs. And to point out, this is just a cheap robot dog that they bought from China. This is so silly. Russia should feel very silly about themselves. Is just kind of it's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing. It's kind of fear-mongering at its lowest grade. It's just nonsense, especially because Russia and China, their relationship is getting serious with the potential gold-backed currency and stuff. They're not talking about that. They're like, oh, scary robot pet dog.
And it also, is kind of giving this impression that this is Putin's robot dog with a rocket launcher on it, when in reality, it's just some company, startup company who is trying to sell weapons.
Well, it's a competition. It's a U.S. competition. The military-industrial complex has their competitive...
this is a business story more than it is a geopolitical, military story. Yeah. And if you're a business in Russia, which is already rife with corruption, and you're going to a conference, you need something cool to show at the conference, you're going to call up China, get a cheap robot dog, and slap a rocket launcher on the back. Of course you are. But Newsweek sort of using it as we could defeat Russia really, really easily, is the exact same thing. Newsweek, again, an extension of the intelligence industry in America, is doing the exact same thing that they are sort of making fun of Putin for doing at the end of this, which is being like, we're the best, we have the best weapons, and everybody else has bad weapons. And Newsweek is just saying the same thing.
Which is weird, because are they agreeing with Trump? The Trump's got top secret things? Newsweek?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that could be it. His top secret super bomb.
Super bombs and sonic super weapons and all kinds of stuff.
So in summation, part of the FLIPPY update, a lot of the FLIPPY update is not only to recognize how social engineering is being used to bring us into some robotic dystopia into the future where robots are valued higher than humans for so many reasons, but also FLIPPY in particular being a mode or a tool with which to communicate geopolitical superiority. We've seen that with the FLIPPY arms up there in space. We've seen it, robotics is as much of a, peeing contest between countries as it is some sort of technocratic solution for the problem of humanity. And just love to see it, man. We just love to see it. Good job there, Newsweek, if that is your real name. Wink.
Go to canarycry.party. It's a website with a tree of links. And those tree of links takes you to everything from where to watch the show, listen to the show, produce the show, how to connect with us and the community.
That's right. While you're there, you can listen to Ravel. Ravel is a podcast I do with Dr. Christopher Ryan Gates, who's got a PhD in biblical interpretation. We explore scripture, scandal, or society, scripture, and scandal, having tough conversations in good faith. Go check it out, Ravel, on canarycry.party or all your podcast players. It's a good podcast. That's my new catchphrase for Ravel. It's a good podcast. You can find other things like the Canary Cry Mixtape, Volume 1, and the Canary Cry Clips channel on YouTube and Odyssey. You really should go subscribe to Canary Cry Clips. It's this podcast, but it's segmented out. It's clipped out to shorter, shareable, careable, bite-sized pieces so you can review information and share it easily. Canary Cry Clips. Go subscribe. It's a good YouTube channel. You can also get on our text message alert system by texting the word canary to 877-740-3226. That's canary to 877-740-3226. It's a good text message alert system.
Okay. All right. Are you done? Are you done?
I'm done. I'm done. Let's go.
All right. Well, you confuse me now.
Conspiracy QAnon.
All of its lies is a disinformation counterintelligence operation.
Satan-worshipping pedophile elites are running our lives.
I'm sick of it.
PSYOPs.
We need to say up top, I think, for all of the YouTube moderators and algorithms, I'm just stating it outright. So when we have to file an appeal for getting suspended, we can give this time code.
Yeah.
We do not support the QAnon conspiracy theories. We are talking about QAnon to analyze and deconstruct how the mainstream media is talking about it. This is not a pro-QAnon segment. Okay, there we go. Somebody write down that time code for when we get banned from YouTube and we have to appeal.
Okay, yep. Vice.com had this headline here. The QAnon queen told her followers to arrest cops. It didn't go well. Now, do you know about the QAnon queen?
I had never heard.
I had never heard of the QAnon queen until Vice told us about it just briefly.
And I will say this, too. Mm. I started reading this article, and I was like, when are they going to put a picture?
No, they don't want you talking online.
That the QAnon queen would look like a Marjorie Taylor Greene figure. Mm. And I'm like, okay, show me this, sort of, I guess, I don't know if this is...
This Nazi woman.
offensive or not, but I kind of assumed it would be some sort of, Midwestern blonde
Marjorie Taylor
white
Greene
lady. would be the key. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I just thought it would be Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Hey, just a note,
But,
Vice. Montreal-born Shane Smith, who now lives in NYC, launched Vice as a rough cut, in-your-face newsrooms or video newsrooms. He retains ownership with 20% of the company, while the Walt Disney Company, A&E Networks, TPG Capital, Soros Fund Management, and James Murdoch own the remaining parts of Vice. So let's just
Murdoch in it too.
Yeah, he's got his
You
finger.
got James Murdoch. What is that? His son or
I don't
something?
know. Yeah, it's a minority stake, so just dabbling. Just keeping that in mind as we go through this story from Vice.
I like this. I love having this media ownership list.
Yeah, very helpful. Probably the
Yeah.
most helpful thing Harvard has ever published.
So Vice, owned by Disney, Soros, and
A&E.
Murdoch.
Murdoch.
A&E, yeah.
Yeah, so let's learn a little bit about this QAnon queen that I've never heard of until today, basically. People on a mission to arrest cops on behalf of the self-proclaimed QAnon Queen of Canada ended up being violently arrested themselves instead. Uh-oh.
Oh, you don't say.
Romana Didulo has built a sizable following out of the QAnon community by convincing people that she's the true leader of Canada and waging a secret war against the supposed pedophilic cabal of globalist leaders like Prime Minister Justin Trudeau or U.S. President Joe Biden. On Saturday, she gathered around 30 of her followers in Peterborough, Ontario, to conduct citizens' arrests on members of the Peterborough Police Service for enforcing COVID-19 restrictions like mask mandates and business closures.
I gotta give it to this woman. It's one thing to just have a YouTube channel and talk about
the next level.
It's another thing to kind of show up to protests with a QAnon shaman headset on or whatever, big horned helmet. It's an entirely different level to claim that you are the true leader of Canada, waging a secret war on the governments and globalist leaders, and that you are getting your followers together to march down and start arresting cops. This is some next level Q shenanigans.
Yeah, it's some. I wonder who suggested all this stuff. The day was a clear escalation for Didulo and her crew, but by the end of it, one of her followers had been charged with 2 counts of assaulting police, and a second was facing charges of mischief and resisting arrest. For weeks, Didulo's group had hyped up Saturday's event. They created Telegram pages, memes, and even a website, all of which Didulo amplified. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a Telegram page, memes, or websites, but they make it sound like it's the worst thing in the world.
It's so insidious that they had a Telegram. First of all, they call it Telegram page, which is not how Telegram works. It's just a channel. Yeah, it's a thread chat. Telegram chat, memes, and even a website. All of which Didulo amplified.
Just days before she posted on Telegram to ask
Masters of the written magics.
Oh, you must have cut out again. You're cutting out a lot today. I was started
that's
reading.
A bummer. Keep going.
Reading. Just days before she posted on Telegram to ask her more than 60,000 followers, quote, "Who amongst you are prepared and ready to keep your city safe, peaceful, and secure after you've peacefully arrested Peterborough, Ontario police?" Wow, very specific, end quote. The event was planned by one of Didulo's most militant subjects, a Peterborough man named Frank Curtin. For over a year now, Curtin has been filming himself handing out fake cease and desist orders issued by Didulo to police, to local police and companies demanding they stop all health measures related to COVID-19. Curtin did not respond to Vice News' request for comment. There's some tweets
I wonder
here.
what... It's interesting. A fake cease and desist order. I get what they're trying to say. What they're trying to say is maybe on the cease and desist, if it's said by order of the government or by order of the courts or something, representing it as a legal document, that would make it fake. But if it just says the QAnon queen, Didulo, says cease and desist your COVID-19 stuff, I don't know if you could call that fake. fake, but I don't know the details.
Yeah, it goes on here. It's got some tweets with some images and video from the arrests gone bad. Didulo's ideology is wide-ranging and at times esoteric. Alongside typical QAnon conspiracies, she claims to be an alien adjacent, being willing to share advanced medical technology with her followers.
Alien adjacent. Okay.
Yeah. She also espouses the pseudo-legal sovereign citizen ideology, which convinces its adherents that the government has no control over them, and became prominent during the COVID conspiracy movement, which is interesting because it's like it assumes that the government does have control over people by kind of pushing back on this idea that, this ideology that says that government has no control over people. They're almost admitting, of course we have control over people.
It's an interesting thing as well, because of course the sovereign citizen movement has been going on in America for a long time, and is always kind of supported by the those who are sovereign citizen people, which I think is an interesting legal theory. They kind of defend it with the Constitution. They sort of use legal wranglings, and it seems very unique to the U.S. So I did not know that Canada had its own sort of sovereign citizen, man in the land, free man in the land, I don't know, movement. Or I wonder what the legal sort of defense of that is.
Yeah, interesting. Currently, she's on a never-ending tour of Canada with her staff, in quotes, in a group of RVs, either rented, bought, or gifted by her fans. Early Saturday afternoon, Didulo's convoy and other believers, many of them live streaming, gathered near the Peterborough Police Department. Chattering excitedly among themselves, they marched down to the police station and readied themselves to arrest some cops. Upon walking up to the entrance, however, the group encountered a problem that not even their queen could solve for them: a locked door. The group knocked on the door and yelled demands for police to come out and be arrested through a megaphone. When that didn't work, they called 911. Once again asking the officers to please come out and be arrested. But the police seemed happy to ignore the group. As Didulo's followers sat in front of the police station to wait out the police officers, she handed out snacks, veggies, and full packs of sardines.
Full packs of sardines.
Wow.
I mean, that's how you know this is a cult. If they are handing out full packs of sardines at their, arrest the cops rally, you know that there are some strange things going on.
Quote, unfortunately, because the police knew we were coming today, they've locked all the doors, Curtin said on a live stream. Interesting name always, Curtin, like behind the curtain. At some point in time, this is a quote, continuing, Curtin, they're going to have to leave. So when that time comes, we're going to make a citizen's arrest on the individual. After a few hours, members of the group, obviously getting bored, decided to wander the property looking for other ways to get their hands on some cops to arrest. It's like any cop that's around. When they moved to a restricted area of the police station where the vehicles were stored, they finally got their encounter with the police.
Dun, dun, dun.
There's some video here. In a press release, the Peterborough Police Service wrote that officers, quote, arriving for their shift were blocked by protesters who also tried to gain access to a secured entrance of the police station, end quote. Video from the event shows Curtin confronting an off-duty officer in a vehicle and telling him, quote, we're placing you under arrest, before immediately being arrested by police officers himself.
Yeah, that's sort of how it happens, doesn't it?
I don't know. Talk about clown world.
It's interesting. Vice does not make any mention of how many people were at this event.
Yeah.
Which they usually love to do, especially if it's a small group. They love saying only 6 people showed up to kind of, take a stab at the group or the leader or something. It's interesting that they do not give a number or even an estimate at how many people. Now you look at one of these tweets, the pictures from the tweet here that they put in. There looks like a decent amount of people.
I can't tell if they're the people here. That first picture, it looks like a little line, but they said multiple RVs, so I'm guessing they have a caravan of people that just follow this lady
11.
around.
Yeah, so they're showing a picture of a line of people kind of lined up on the sidewalk, and it shows about a dozen, but off further down the line, it looks like there could easily be another dozen. So there may have been 25, 30 people, at least in this one picture.
Yeah, the picture below with, I think this is the curtain guy, or maybe not. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of people at all. But one member of her staff sat on the ground screaming after being grabbed by a police officer. Another one of Didulo's followers then tackled the officer in a failed attempt to protect his friend. He was also arrested, much to the confusion of the group. Quote, "Stand down, police. You're under arrest," yelled one man at the cops arresting his friend in front of him. Experts.
Stand down, police. You're under arrest.
Experts. Yeah. If somebody walked in on that would be so confusing. There's like police, and then there's people yelling at the police to be arrested, but then they're being. I would be very confused. I'd be like, what is happening here?
It is. Look, you got to hand it to these people. The confidence at which they are executing this arrest of the police, or attempting to, is pretty impressive. I mean, that is some serious confidence to walk up to a police officer and say, "Stand down, police. You're under arrest."
Experts have warned that Didulo is leading her followers towards confrontations with the public and state, and some have even taken to calling her community a cult. Oh, really? The group wears matching white uniforms and drives Didulo around from city to city, where she hosts meet and greets with her followers in parking lots. Didulo has also advised her followers to stop paying their utility bills because she decreed they were now free. And many of her followers are getting their power and water shut off. As they beg their queen for help, she ignores them. Not a very good leader. Come on, got to answer to the people.
Come on, queen.
When the arrest started Saturday, Didulo and her closest followers fled for the safety of their RV, or of her RV. And in royal tradition, the queen attempted to distance herself from the event she promoted and threw her followers under the bus. In a live stream from the RV with hundreds of viewers, she said she'd only come to watch. Quote, "A gentle reminder that Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didulo, Commander-in-Chief and Queen of the Kingdom of Canada, was in Peterborough, Ontario yesterday as an observer, not participant," she wrote Sunday.
That's very interesting. So I thought maybe this QAnon queen, this queen language, may be a media construction to kind of make her sound crazier or something.
Yeah.
But she's referring to herself in the royal we.
Yes.
And calls herself Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didulo, Commander-in-Chief and Queen of the Kingdom of Canada.
Yeah. I have a clip here.
She's referring to herself as that.
I have a clip here for a video from her website, queenromanadidulo.ca. This is video number 74, and it's titled "Queen Romana Appointed as the Mediator Between U.S. and Russia on Ukraine Conflict." And I'll just play the first 30 seconds or so to get an idea of what she sounds like and talks about here. Let me see. Let's get this all the way back to 0. Come on, 0. There we go. Here we go. Hey, play. Oh, no. This is not working out. Hold on. Let me do a quick refresh and see if this will connect here. Come on, internets. Here we go.
Let's see here. Okay.
To we the people of the Kingdom of Canada, I address you today as your Commander-in-Chief and Queen. To the Russian and American people, I address you as the mediator between the United States and Russia pertaining to Ukraine crises. I have been requested by the Commander-in-Chief of the United States Armed Forces to act as the mediator between Russia and the United States.
That's a pretty bold claim.
Biden called her up.
And she's got a banner with the maple leaf with a sword in the middle. God loves you.
Yeah, they kind of have their own flag and everything.
Yeah, purple. Interesting color. Royalty. Yeah. And, I tried to look into, because I've never heard of this lady. I have no clue who this person is. And I tried to find things. I just couldn't find a whole lot about her other than Vice reporting on her. There was a blog, OperationDisclosureOfficial.com. Roman Didulo Telegram update. The end is near. And this is from July of 2021. And clearly this is not this is some kind of, fringy blog here. And it just kind of transcribes the telegram. And back on July 5th, 2021, she said, allegedly in telegram, the end of human trafficking is near. Millions of children have been rescued worldwide. Satanists worldwide have been removed and punished for their crimes against humanity. The three pillars of evil, the Vatican, the European fake royals, and Washington, D.C., have all been exposed and destroyed. The CCP and the world communism has been eradicated or crippled at this point. The elites, starting with the 13 Venetian families, have been tried and executed long ago, and the evils of Hollywood are gone. Clearly making some real bold statements. So the Queen has
she's won.
She's won.
She's already won.
It's just the confidence at which she declares these things is quite over the top, which leads me to again think that this might be the PSYOP that riding the wave of the pushback against all the things that happened with the last couple years with the C-19, and riding the wave of the pushback and creating their own operation out of it. That's my opinion.
Well, it's interesting because maybe she did get contacted by the commander-in-chief of the United States military forces. I could see how, somebody in the CIA just call up her cell phone.
It's Joe. It's Joe. I promise. It's really Joe.
It's me, Joe. This is an interesting part. Didulo also said she called upon allied countries to aid in their efforts against Petersburg police. That's funny. You need international support to go arrest some police officers, and repeatedly chastised Curtin for not listening to her. Oh, so there's some... The ranks are breaking, it sounds like. She also seemed upset that people were describing the arrests as a loss and plans to address the world later this week. Many in the community have been doing what they can to spin the event as a win for Didulo and their group, mainly saying the police locking the door shows they were terrified of Didulo. Despite the day clearly not going their way, Didulo implied they may try this again, but they just need more people. Quote, I said months ago that people who were wanting to do citizens' arrest should do it in large numbers, and we the people in thousands, she wrote on Telegram. It's so easy to forget the part of the article where she claims to be alien adjacent and to offer up medical technology. They just kind of
stick that in there as kind of one line, crazy.
And here's the thing. Vice has just a rich history of putting interesting spins on this thing, on these types of things, putting their own Vice spice on it, if you will, their own Vice flavor in reporting these types of things. They don't necessarily claim to be, nor could they be considered just sort of like a raw, facts-driven journalistic outlet. It is very much sort of a younger, edgier sort of social engineering outlet. So who knows? The problem is you can't find any other information about this woman.
Yeah, everybody's learning about this lady, mostly anyway, at least I am, from Vice.
Yeah, right.
That should say something at least, right?
And Her Royal Majesty Queen Romana Didulo, Master Chief of Canada, I mentioned at the begining, I thought she was going to look like a Marjorie Taylor Greene creature.
Yeah. No.
Not creature. I don't know.
Wow.
Character
that's
is what I meant.
Banned.
But no, you can call Marjorie Taylor Greene a creature on YouTube.
Right,
they love that.
Yeah.
But she seems to be maybe like a native First Nations type
I think
person.
They said she was from Thailand or something.
Or Thailand, I was going to say, or some sort of Asian descent.
Yeah, I think Asian descent.
And she's, she's probably in her 60s or 70s. Very short hair, kind of like the short, almost like a military cut in some of these pictures.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's very, very interesting. But, we've been tracking how the QAnon situation is getting ramped up again and how useful that is for the midterms coming up.
Yeah.
Useful in different ways to different groups, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Both Democrats and Republicans have something to benefit from QAnon getting flared up again. This is quite the I mean, this takes QAnon shaman to a whole nother level.
Hey, I want that alien technology, man. Give us that free energy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's quite the. But it seems like she's really getting a decent amount of a decent following, which is pretty insane.
Yeah, we'll keep track of the Q Queen, the QAnon Queen.
Yeah,
as we take a break here because I need to go to take a shower or something.
It's break time.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. Thanks some more producers. And that's right, I said producers. We're on the value for value model. We take no corporate money whatsoever. A big part of that, big reason for that is not just that it's a pain in the butt to listen to advertisements and, let Swiffer WetJet come in and try to sell you some new fancy vacuum. But because the very concept of taking money from corporations in order to serve some independent media analysis and deconstruction is antithetical. It's antithetical to the mission. Gons, I'm getting a very strange variation coming from your stuff over there. And I can't tell if it's you or if it's me.
It's probably you because I don't hear anything, and I don't think our...
All right.
People listening out there don't hear anything weird from me.
Because you're coming in to my system extremely loud and with a buzz. So if anybody on the live chat is experiencing that, let me know, please, so we can do something about it. Anywho, but we decided long ago that taking corporate money to deliver independent media analysis and deconstruction just doesn't work. It doesn't make any sense. How can we be integrous with our delivery and our message and our analysis if it is has the specter of corporate money, corporate intentions, and corporate profit motives hovering over it? And that's something we believe everybody should value. Now, some people value it in different amounts, but the fact of the matter is we can only keep doing this show in the way that it exists currently with the support of our producers. And value for value is very simple. Just, do you get value out of the show? If the answer is yes, put a number on it and put some value back in. Now, you can produce the show with your time, your talent, or your treasure, all sorts of ways to get involved. But we're going to thank some producers who came in financially to keep the show going. You ready, Gons?
Ready. Are we doing supply drop or no?
We need to put together a package. We have samples. Yeah, let's do supply drop real quick.
Okay.
That's right, canarycrysupply.com, a very special website where you can learn about our producer program, where not only will you keep the show going by, committing $33.33 per month to keep your favorite podcast going, but in return, we'll be sending you 4 times a year, once per quarter, a completely custom package filled with Canary Cry News Talk gear. And so many different things come in that package, and we're very excited to announce some of the things this quarter. I'm wearing my Tweet Hungry Boys apron, the kitchen apron, which was in last quarter's package. Now, I will be slowly revealing some of the things coming in this next supply drop, which will ship out at the end of September. But we are coming up on the deadline to sign up to receive the next supply drop. You must sign up before September 1st if you want to receive this next supply drop, and I think you might want to. So some of the things, of course, that come in the supply drops, you got stickers and pins and buttons and things like that. We've also got the New World Order Fantasy League can koozie, which will be included in this supply drop, which will be fun. Once the New World Order Fantasy League ramps up, you gotta be enjoying a fresh beverage in your New World Order Fantasy League branded can koozie. We're also going to be adding some recipes into the supply drop that you can cook with your Tweet Hungry Boy apron. We are going to have Grumpy Uncle Shamuro's bean chili is going to be available. We are also, there's some other big ones. I'm going to
Don't
save.
tell him yet.
I'm not going to tell him.
Don't tell him. Just.
We've got some really cool big ones that I'm going to announce on Monday. But I'm telling you guys, if you want to get in on this supply drop, and I know you do, head to canarycrysupply.com to sign up. We're going to love it. We're all waiting for the supply drop. Okay, and we got some producers to thank. Are you ready?
Ready.
Starting with producer Chad J. Chad J coming in. Thank you very much, Chad. Producer Chad J comes in with 3333. Illuminatus! And a note here. It's unimaginable. No, it couldn't have been Chuck, you think? He was the best man at our wedding, for God's sake. But the inevitable confrontation will have to wait. Dead men tell no tales, and neither do patients in a coma ward, it seems. Reviews. I wonder if this was a microfiction.
Well, Chad the Chad.
Or it was supposed to be in reviews.
I think Chad the Chad was the man who did the microfiction / review, if you recall.
Oh.
So maybe this is the Chad the Chad.
Oh, the Chad the Chad. Okay,
Just
that makes
dots.
sense. No, it's making much more sense.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, producer Chad J.
Chad J,
for
thank you.
your support.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Let's see here. I'm going to skip down the list a little bit here. I'm going to go with producer Darren S.
Woo!
Yes, and Darren S. He's done it. He's been supporting the show every episode for 33 episodes in a row.
Oh, wait.
Which,
oh
yes. He's a Lizard Master shill, baby.
Okay.
Officially solidified the eliminated Lizard Master shill.
The most exciting streak.
The most exciting streak. Thank you very much, producer Darren S. comes in with 3333 Illuminatus.
Yep.
And a note, he says, it's Wednesday.
It is Wednesday, my dudes. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Wednesday, my dudes.
Says number 33. Take that, Illuminati handlers. Have a great day. Yes. And it's also another big day, Gons, because Darren S. has officially hit the threshold to join the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames.
All right.
Look at that, Gons. 33 episodes in a row. He's hit the 33, got the Illuminated Lizard Master Shill, comes in for 33, and on the same day getting knighted. Well done, Darren S.
Yeah,
and
good
thank
job,
you
buddy.
for your continued faithful producership.
And congratulations.
Yes, we'll be knighting you in the next break here. But let's keep moving. We got producer Morv coming in with 128 episode streak.
Morv 128. Oh, what happened? Here we go.
Oh, yeah!
Thank you so much.
11.
Yep, comes in with the 1111. We've got Sir JC out of the Techno Squatch coming in with 137 episodes in a row.
Fast thing on 2 feet.
1001. Amen.
Yep, comes in with the 1001. We've
Thank you,
got
Sir
Sir
JC.
Sir Sigurd the Beast is back on the list here, coming in with the 1001.
1001. Amen.
And he says this, I'm requesting prayers. I tested positive.
Oops.
That's
You ready?
okay.
All right, here we go.
Keep it going.
Producers, assemble!
I tested positive for COVID the first time this morning, but also praises for 2 reasons. First, that I was excused jury duty this week. Oh, good timing.
Good timing.
Getting tested right away while symptoms were mild, meaning low risk of spread. Yes, indeed. So you got the silver lining there. So producers around the world, if you don't know, the producers are people who are committed to praying for the show, praying during the show, praying for the producers of the show. Now, producers, listen up. We're praying for Sir Sigurd the Beast. He's got the COVID, and we're just going to, of course, pray that it's not too bad. Quick recovery, and no, negative repercussions for that.
Yeah.
So, praise report. You got out of jury duty. That's always nice. Thank you very much, Sir Sigurd the Beast.
Thank you, Sir Sigurd the Beast. Good to see you.
Next up, we have producer Sir LX Protocol, Night of the Berean Protocol.
Yeah, Sir LX Protocol V2, Night of the Berean Protocol.
Yes, sorry about that. Yeah. And Sir LX Protocol V2 is on a 66 episode streak.
Ooh.
The time has come. Execute Order 66. 66.
Dun, dun, dun. You made it. Sir LX Protocol V2 has a note here. Comes in with a pocket full of sevens. Wednesday, my dudes.
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
I'm trying to get ahead of these, or trying to get these ahead of time. That way I won't keep forgetting. Yes, it was a horrible day. I need prayers. Thank you. Okay.
More prayers.
Let's hit them with the producers.
Producers, assemble!
There you go. Producers. Sir LX Protocol V2 on the list. Had a horrible day. We'll be praying for you, Sir LX Protocol V2. We don't like hearing that.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Gail M on a 159 episode streak.
Women rule!
Pocket full of sevens and a note. Hey, Canary family, please pray with me for God to give me wisdom. I need to find housing. Okay, another producers.
Producers, assemble!
She says, not going well so far. I have 3 months, then I'm homeless. It happens, but I never thought it would happen to me. Thank you. Gail's gratitude grab bag. I'm on hold, but I'll be back. XXX. Yes, okay. Well,
all
there
right.
you go. Producers, we got Gail needing to find another place to live. And yes, it's always scary, never fun. 3 months, a lot of time for the Lord to work his miracles in your life there, Gail. So we'll just be praying and trusting that this will get figured out.
Yep. We'll be praying for you.
Indeed.
That's tough.
Wow, lots of producers.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's why we got this. We got the whole team on it. And that concludes our list of producers who came in the amount of 777 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. That is incorrect. We do have one more here that I'm seeing just came in. Yes, we've got producer Runk Smash.
Runk Smash. Thank you, Runk Smash.
He is on a 20 episode streak. Let's see here. It says he sent an email. Let me grab this email. No need to read live. Okay. I will not read live. Thank you very much, Runk Smash.
Thank you, Runk Smash.
Okay, that concludes the list of producers who came in the amount of 777 or more, which entitles them to have a note read on the show. We got a few more people who came in under that amount. We'll thank in another break. But to all of our producers here and now, thank you for your patronage.
Shut up and take my money.
Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your patronage.
Yes, it's wake-up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
It is time for... Ooh, are we doing... Oh, here we go. Yeah.
We will launch a new age.
Yeah.
Checking in on Trump here, yes.
Yeah. Oh, a little politic.
Politics.
Politics, yeah. Oh, come on.
Uh-oh.
There it is.
It's Latin for many. They'll suck your blood. Politics. Your blood.
So just a quick update here. Things continue now. Every single piece of mainstream reporting and even the independent reporting, it's I'm kind of annoyed at it because there really is not enough information to do much reporting on the situation right now. And there's just a lot of conjecture, a lot of people just making hay from this situation, which is the media's job, of course. But there was one interesting update, and we're taking this from Politico.com. The headline is DOJ says release of Mar-a-Lago affidavit would harm ongoing criminal probe. Okay, sure. The Justice Department intends to unseal additional documents connected to the FBI search at President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. Oh, look at that. Suddenly, they're calling him President Donald Trump.
Interesting. Yeah. Politico, huh?
Exactly. But is urging a federal court to maintain the secrecy of the sworn affidavit describing the basis for the search. The DOJ is particularly concerned that the release of details from the affidavit might harm ongoing efforts to interview witnesses, given the threats to federal agents in wake of the Mar-a-Lago search. Quote, if disclosed, the affidavit would serve as a roadmap to the government's ongoing investigation, providing specific details about its direction and likely course in a manner that is highly likely to compromise future investigative steps, U.S. Attorney Juan Gonzalez and Justice Department Counterintelligence Chief Jay Bratt said in a filing urging the continued secrecy of the affidavit.
What happened? Yes. I thought they wanted to release the papers and show the whole thing.
Transparency.
They want to be transparent.
Yes, corruption dies in the sunlight, Gons, which is why it must be kept hidden. Quote, the fact is that this investigation implicates highly classified materials, further underscores the need to protect the integrity of the investigation, and exacerbates the potential for harm if information is disclosed to the public prematurely or improperly, the DOJ officials wrote. And it kind of goes on. It's got a little bit of analysis to it, and it's just not very interesting. Did you have anything? I mean, they kind of just repeat themselves over and over. They're like, it's a really big deal. Here's a law. It's a really big deal. We don't want to do anything crazy. Over and over in different words.
I don't have anything other than the obvious, which is they said they're gonna show the papers, and then it was kind of like a game of chicken, and then Trump was like, release the papers, release them, show them, and now they're like, well, no, we can't.
This is a weird one. The affidavit is weird because it's different from the warrant.
It's different from the warrant, yeah. But
this is weird,
it's required,
man.
Right?
I am having some very strange audio anomalies over here. You just keep getting louder and louder and louder for no reason.
Yeah,
oh, gosh.
I exist so loud in your life, in your head.
Stop it. You're killing me. Okay, hold on. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to turn these down. I'm just going to have to live manage this.
Okay.
It's not working. It's making it worse. Okay.
I will give you the check, Sir Lizard Man, controlling his computer.
Let me finish with this article, and then I need to take a second and fix something.
I don't think there's much to finish, but yeah, go ahead and comment on that.
There is.
Okay.
So here's the thing. The warrant was released. The warrant is one. Now, the affidavit is different. The affidavit is what needed to be filed to receive the warrant. So this is what the FBI and the DOJ had to file to a judge so the judge would write up the warrant.
Right.
And when it comes to getting a warrant, you need to swear to a judge, this is why we want to do the search. This is why we need to do this. List the crimes, list what we think we're going to find. And there's been some interesting back and forth on releasing the affidavit because of this. Whatever was in that affidavit is not necessarily fact. They could say anything in the affidavit to try to convince the judge. So, on one hand, if it gets released and the affidavit says, yeah, we think that Trump is selling nuclear codes to the Russians and that he's, they could put any wild thing on there. And here's the problem is the public, or not even the public, the media would go crazy with that. Can you imagine the headlines if, FBI searches Trump, new documents released, selling nuclear codes to the Russians?
Right. It could be made up, but it'll be...
Yeah, it's not true necessarily. It's just what they put on the form. So, and this is why I think they're not releasing it is because every time for Trump's entire political career, every time these humongous allegations come out about Trump being a Russian asset, the Steele dossier, it only worked to bolster Trump's position because he can say, look at these wild, crazy things that they're saying about me and none of them are true. Boy, doesn't the deep state want me to go away, huh? Look at the crazy lies they're making up. And Trump gets more and more support because it sort of reveals the insanity that's coming against him. That's kind of worked in his favor his entire career.
Right.
So, Trump, and on the other hand, it's they're saying it would kind of tip their hand to what they're investigating because there might be something on there that,
we made it up.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It could have anything on there.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they don't want to release it, is for many reasons. I think it would only benefit Trump for them to release the affidavit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Things are really going haywire over here. I'm going to need to go on. I'm going to need to disappear for a second, and I'll be back. I'll let you take the next one.
Okay, so let's do some climate change / beast system here.
Since the beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy the sun. I will do the next best thing. Block it out.
Climate change. Climate change.
Mass extinction.
Speaking of the beast system, beast system.
And this is truly a story that exemplifies one of our old ISOs.
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
The headline from DailyMail.co.uk is Government Announces UK's First Net Zero Smart Prison in Yorkshire, powered by solar energy, where inmates have tablets in their cells, but says all devices will be fitted with tough security to stop inmates browsing the internet. And very interesting development here, using climate change as sort of like virtue signaling the climate sort of ESG type of stuff while creating a prison. A zero emissions smart prison powered by solar energy that gives prisoners tablets and laptops in their cells is set to open in 2025. Construction from Keir will begin building the Category C facility in Full Sutton, East Yorkshire this autumn at a cost of £400 million, the government has announced. Government said the new facility, the most expensive British prison yet, will be designed from top to bottom with the latest smart technology to cut crime and protect the public. Innovations will include in-cell devices from prisoners, including laptops and tablets, as well as quote-unquote cutting-edge security systems and an all-electric design. In response to potential concerns the public may have with regard to prisoners accessing devices, a spokesperson for HM Prison Service said, quote, all in-cell technology is fitted with the tough security measures, and cannot be used to browse the internet. Providing prisoners with laptops and tablets to access education and training so they can find work on release is proven to cut crime. And it goes on here, goes into some more detail of where it is. And they went with the X shape of the building instead of the K shape. And, they got pictures of the cell. It looks like a tiny dorm room. You got a bed, you got a little desk, a little window. And later on, James Bohr, tech expert and security consultant at Boris Group, told Mail Online that the term "smart" is often put in front of another word to add a bit of flair to a proposal. This is a quote. Really, all a smart anything does, whether it's a prison, a city, or a car, is use technology to measure and improve services, he told Mail Online. Bohr also said the new facility could be an incredible achievement in rehabilitation of offenders, giving them much-needed opportunities to develop useful skills and reducing the risk of reoffending. So, I thought this was a great microcosm of sort of the you will own nothing and be happy. And you think about the post C-19 world in which everybody was on lockdown and everybody was on their devices. This is like a miniature experiment utopia from the perspective of the elite, so to speak, to have a smart prison where you have all this technology leveraged, and as a result, you have these inmates that are all being rehabilitated. They're healing from their criminal ways, or at least what is considered a crime by the state. And I'm sure there's horrific crimes in there, or criminals in there too. But it's just very interesting when you think about what these elite folks want, which would be the entire world being set up as one giant smart prison, where because they're busy, they're busy doing their own thing, do whatever, and so they have to allow the robots to do all the monitoring and even the rehabilitating. Let them take care of that, so we can go inject ourselves with Nephilim cells to become super sentient ascended masters or something. I don't know, whatever they're doing. So
it really is hilarious because if there is any better metaphor for the technocratic smart world of the future, there is no better metaphor than a prison,
right?
I mean, that is the whole
the virtual panopticon
of the World Economic Forum Great Reset is have everybody monitored, have everybody have a digital ID, keep them sort of sated with technology and convenience.
Yeah.
And what this leads to is us living in some sort of technocratic panopticon police state,
right,
or prison. And so it is just a perfect example of what they want to do. And I guarantee that this is being considered, a type of experiment that they can, we've talked about smart cities, and it's funny because you read about the smart prison,
right?
It is almost identical to the description of smart. Maybe it is in there somewhere. Having vertical food growing.
I don't think they have all that's yet.
Fertilized with their septic system and, a self-contained technocratic sort of utopia.
Perfect sewer surveillance, the whole deal. Yeah. It's by the way, it's an intranet, not an internet. Intranet being a network from within, so it's not something that people can access outside.
So they can chat with each other.
Right.
You can have the prison chat rooms and forums.
Yeah, and the idea was, they can schedule their doctor's appointments or their whatever from their cell on their tablets now. Like, okay, great, wonderful.
And all of it sounds very humane, right? It sounds like a very humane way to quarantine certain individuals away from society. I mean, you could see, especially after Australia's sort of enraging quarantine camps and sort of how some of them were prison-like, basically.
Yeah.
This is, hey, if we're gonna quarantine you away, if the government's gonna force you to disconnect from society, perhaps it's for a crime, or perhaps it's because you flew in from a undesirable country and we need to quarantine you for a month or whatever. Don't worry, we'll give you this iPad and you can go to the, use the robotic arms. We'll serve you lunch in the cafeteria. You'll love it. You won't own anything, but you'll be happy.
You'll be definitely happy, or happier, or more happy as we deem you happy or fit.
Well, and it's interesting because there's the concept of being institutionalized. These people who spend most of their life in prison or whatever, they kind of get used to it. It's called being institutionalized, and you don't know how to operate in freedom, and you tend to prefer to be incarcerated. You get your 3 meals a day, you get your, you get taken care of like some sort of pet in a cage.
I like how the only difference between, somebody who might live in a smart city and be doing stuff, and these sort of, these prisons that they're building here, these smart prisons, is, when I get out, I'll be able to access Twitter. That's like the only accessing social media, not the not all the other freedoms that come with being a free citizen of the world. But yeah, just thought it was a fun little thing here, and we'll keep an eye on how this is developing.
What country is this going on?
UK. This is Yorkshire.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good job, UK.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's stick another break here. We got a little quicker out today, so we'll see how time goes.
Okay.
It's time for a break.
Let's do some speak pipe stuff here.
Voicemails.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message.
That's right. Message indeed. If you go to canarycrynewstalk.com, you'll see on the bottom or the right-hand side of the page, you'll see a little green tab. You can click on that green tab and leave us a voice message. If you do so, you're giving us permission to play that voice message, but it's not guaranteed.
All right, we got one from Steven.
Hey, Basil, Gons, and the Canarium. It's Steven. I just wanted to leave a message to say I appreciate you guys. Also wondering if you guys saw the howbad.info website. You can look up all the batches for new... you get what I'm talking about. On a lighter note, on Hulu, they have a new Forged in Fire series called Knife or Death. I think you guys would dig it. All right. Love you. God bless.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Yes, that website. Yes, a collection of documentation for negative side effects of certain medical procedures. And Knife or Death. Have you watched this Forged in Fire series?
Well, I was a fan of Forged in Fire, but I don't know that.
Oh, were you?
Yeah. Is this a newer one or is this a spin-off?
Sounds like
a spin-off.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
It looks like
I never watched it. I saw clips though. Clips were always fun.
Well, our ISO It Will Kill comes from that. Remember, It Will Kill. That's from the show. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. That's right. Cool. Well, thank you very much, Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen. We also got one from Chibi.
Hello, Basil and Gons and Canary Cry community. So several of us from Minnesota have expressed interest in getting a get-together going, but so far no one has stepped up to the plate. I am very disappointed in you all. I need Gon's grumpy uncle to shame you all. Shame all you Minnesotans. So I'm going to take the initiative and set up a coffee meetup. I know it's not that exciting, but I really could not think of anything else. I'm usually pretty busy, and I had to take the day off just so I can see one of you. So yeah, if nobody shows up to the meetup, that's okay. I'll just have to rattle my own cage. So I hope to see some of y'all there. And yes, let's get to know each other. Maybe we can do something after the coffee meetup. Get some brunch, go to the park, something. Gonzo, play some Dean screens. Play like 10 of them. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you very much, GB. See, I like this. There's passion, man. There's passion for the meetups. And I think that Chibi's message is very relatable to a lot of people because, as she said, she's been sitting there waiting for somebody to put on a Missouri meetup, and nobody's doing it. So
Minnesota.
Minnesota. St. Paul, Minnesota, I believe. She's been waiting for somebody to put on a meetup, and nobody's doing it. So she's going ahead and doing it herself. That is the way to do it, my friends. Taking the initiative. And that's right. So anybody near St. Paul, Minnesota, this is going to be, I believe, on the 24th of September at Backstory Coffee Roasters at 11:11 a.m. Twin Cities Meetup. There we go. St. Paul, Minnesota. And then it's on 432 Wabasha Street there at the Backstory Coffee. All right, I love it. And let this be a lesson to all the other people out there just waiting and watching for somebody else to put a meetup on there in their area. Just put it on yourself. And again, you don't have to plan anything fancy if you don't want to or whatever. A lot of times the fanciest meetups they're not like the first meetup in the area.
Right.
You know, people get together, Canarians meet each other. Maybe they meet online or something. But, you know, once you get connected to the Canarians in your area, then you can start planning for something bigger. So there you go. St. Paul, Minnesota, any Canarians around there, I know you are there. Email, we'll put it up on the Canary Crime Meetups site.
It's already there.
CanaryCrimeMeetups.com. Is it? Oh, it's not showing. Let me refresh.
Yeah, do a little refresh.
Do a little refresh.
I appreciate Chibi taking the initiative. That is the way.
This is the way.
And I like how she has no hesitation threatening everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So if you do not respond,
it will kill.
Yeah.
It will kill.
That's that.
Yes, I see that the email did not get put on the meetup site.
Yes, it did. But you click on the Chibi, and it will
we should write
an email.
I know. We should write the whole thing out there because I just clicked on it and it pretty much destroyed my computer. It's Miranda.Lopez 1990 at gmail.com. Miranda.Lopez 1990 at gmail.com to RSVP and get more information. And you can always go to canarycrimemeetups.com.
Yep. Thank you for that. And that does it for all of the messages. So let's thank some more producers and then get back to the show here.
I will say I figured out what was going on with my system. It was a cat laying on cords. You know, people who have done a lot of sound stuff and messing with cords, and you know, I got a pretty complicated system set up over here, almost needlessly so. You can get some interference when a biological object, whether it's a human touching a cord or a cat falling asleep on a cord, can really start messing with things. So this cat ruined my my Trump DOJ analysis.
Alien cat, messy. Yeah, that's the Trump cat.
Yeah, it's the CIA cat.
CIA cat.
Proof that the CIA has infiltrated the compound through the cats here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks some producers here. These are the producers who came in under the 777 cutoff, and we're going to thank them now. Starting with Sir Scott Knight of Truth, 183 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Sir Scott.
Candy is asking in the chat if there's any Puerto Rican Canarians. Yes, there are Puerto Rican Canarians. I believe there was even a meetup in Puerto Rico at some point, really early on. Now, remember, this is just for the YouTube folks. Look, this is a weird world that we live in. Most people, the dramatic majority of listeners of Canary Cry News Talk do not listen live. They listen on their podcast players. An extremely small amount of people watch and listen live, although we love them. They add so much to the show. So if you're looking for people in your area, just checking with chat is not the way to do it. You gotta just put it out on the show.
Yeah.
And that's when you will find other Canarians, because anyways, it's just how numbers work. Next up, we've got Veronica D, 159 episodes in a row.
Women rule.
Thank you, Veronica D.
Sir Casey the Shield Knight, 194 episodes in a row. We also had
Sir Casey.
Marie C came in on the Patreon. So thank you very much
Marie
for
C.
that.
Yeah.
Recurring producership.
Appreciate that.
Okay, let's. It's time to head on over to the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames, Gons. We have a knighting to do.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Okay, let me see here.
Big day. Thank you to producer Darren S., who is a relatively new producer as far as financially goes. I mean, 33 episodes ago, I believe, is when they started producing. And look at that. On their 33rd episode, come in with 33, and they have already reached the level of Knights of the Canary Cry Roundtable. For those who don't know, the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames is an elite squadron of producers who produce the show in the amount of $1,000 or more. That can be all at once or over time. Some people are on, monthly producerships, which will... I think the supply drop producership, I believe, reaches knighthood in, what was it, 18 months or something
like that. I
20
can't
months,
exact,
maybe it was 30 months, something like that. So, it's something to work towards, but we love to honor these producers because it means so much to have their support. And, we run knighthood specials sometimes. Episode 500 was an example of that. Darren S., you've been a wonderful piece of, piece. I was going to say piece of support, which is a weird way to put it.
Yeah, especially when you rant about how we don't commoditize our audience, and then you call them just a piece.
So, see, this is what I get for trying to cover Gons to give him time to get ready.
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I've been ready for like the last 30 seconds of your rant.
Look at this. No appreciation to the time that I buy for him, folks. All right, show me your blade.
That's your blade.
Thank you. Yeah.
Here's my blade.
You know what? Yours, you make a fun noise, but mine's bigger. We want to call up Darren S. Please step forward to the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames, where we have a seat for you. Thanks to your generous support in the amount of $1,000 or more, we are proud to pronounce you Sir Darren, Knight of the Hungry Panda. Please join us at the Canary Cry Roundtable, where we have the belt of truthful truthiness, the breastplate of righteous righteousness, custom-fit Birkenstocks to carry forth the gospel of peace, the shield of ferocious faith, the helmet of substantiating salvation, the supernatural sword of the spirit, and of course, adorable samurai babies, infinitely cute kitties for cuddling, and if you're hungry, a fancy feast, wet food, carved Cosmo, the crisper cow, and fried worm corns. Welcome to the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames, Sir Darren, Knight of the Hungry Panda. The crowd goes wild. Anybody see Darren S. walking down the street? He'll be the one wearing the suit of armor. If you see him online, wherever you see Sir Darren, Knight of the Hungry Pandas, make sure to congratulate him and thank him for supporting the show.
All right. Well, let's wake up. Are we cutting off YouTube? What are we doing? What do you think? Should we go for it?
See, this is the problem, is if we cut off YouTube, Twitch isn't there, so everybody would have to go to Rumble or DLive to watch the show, or Odyssey, and I just don't think that people are going to do that.
Yeah.
We know how you YouTubers work. You're very, very loyal to YouTube.
Yeah.
And if not YouTube, you can go to Twitch, which was kind of the easiest one to go to, but we're banned there. Yeah, we'll just you know what?
Let's do it.
The points to be made will be apparent, and so we don't need to make them.
Okay.
It's break time.
Oops, no, it's the opposite of break time. It's wake up time.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, y'all, wake up.
And we shall go on a limb.
It's Corona time. COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19. COVID-19, yes. COVID-19. COVID-19. Vaccine. Number one way.
I will say this.
Yeah.
I will say this real quick. YouTubers, start getting used to going to DLive or Rumble or Odyssey or those other places. Because if we don't get the Twitch channel back, we're gonna have to start cutting off YouTube anyways.
Yeah.
So just prepare yourself. Go now to canarycry.party. Find the DLive link, the Rumble link, the Odyssey link. I think DLive is the next best one for getting your chat on screen.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Rumble and Odyssey chat doesn't get on screen. So everybody right now, if you're on YouTube, go to DLive. You can find that link on canarycry.party and make an account, because if we don't get Twitch back, that's where you're going to have to start going after the COVID section, or during the COVID section.
So
okay,
we got a couple things here. Well, it's kind of a bigger thing that is taking place, but we'll just report it, and we'll leave the commentary to somewhat of a minimum, although I think it's pretty self-explanatory. This is New York One, or Spectrum News, and it's mirroring the AP, the Associated Press. And I'm just going to read the first couple paragraphs, and then I'll do another article from CNBC, because it does a better job of summarizing the details of what's taking place. But the headline from ny1.com: CDC director announces shakeup, citing COVID-19 mistakes. So this is a Rochelle, the director of doom, sighting here.
Rochelle. Get out of my face, Rochelle.
The head of the nation's...
Shake-up is an interesting way to put that. Other reports are, a restructuring of the CDC, making changes to the CDC. I don't know if shake-up really is the best way to describe it, but we'll hear more.
Yeah, she likes the song Shake It.
I'm switching out an ice pack, by the way.
Sure, yeah. The head of the nation's top public health agency on Wednesday announced a shakeup of the organization, saying it fell short responding to COVID-19 and needs to become more nimble.
An interesting admission.
Mm-hmm. The planned changes at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC leaders call it a reset.
Oh!
Yeah. I like resets.
I love the Great Reset.
Come amid criticism.
The CDC has its own great reset. I love it.
Come amid criticism of the agency's response to COVID-19 monkeypox, which is kind of interesting how it's so recent of a thing, and other public health threats. The changes include internal staffing moves and steps to speed up data releases. And this article goes into more detail
As if
here.
that was the problem.
Right. So let me just go over to the CNBC article, because it does a better job of sort of summarizing the exact things here. The CNBC headline here is CDC Director Walensky to reorganize agency after admitting COVID pandemic response fell short. And again, it's all about Rochelle here. It's all about how she is taking charge. And in the article, it says, this is further down, the central objectives of the reorganization are focused on sharing scientific data faster and making it easier for the public to understand health guidance, according to the briefing document. Walensky launched the review in April after the massive winter surge of infections from the Omicron variant upended the nation's public health responses. So that's one, okay? So they're going to share scientific data faster.
This is interesting. I'm going to word this very politely, which is this restructuring and this, I don't know, I guess press release or something is very effective, because in doing so, they can reframe the criticisms that they receive during and after the pandemic, because we all remember the criticisms of the CDC and their handling of a lot of things, even from the left, not just from conservatives, but also from the left. And speed of information getting out, I do not remember that being on the list of criticisms that we met with in the mainstream. So this is very interesting, because they get to kind of, it's just PR 101, by the way, too.
Yeah, it's like,
putting out their... Getting ahead of the story, putting out their own press release, reframing criticisms to try to, make what changes they want to make and control the context in which they're being made.
Right. Listen to this paragraph that's in the CNBC article. The CDC repeatedly faced criticism during the pandemic for confusing public health recommendations and releasing data too slowly through retrospective reports that were outpaced by the rapid spread of the virus. Public health experts were often frustrated that briefings on the pandemic relied on data from other countries, such as the UK and Israel, which is interesting
so they
because
don't like the Israeli data.
Well,
they
the
don't
Israeli and
like
UK
Americans
data,
basing their stuff on the UK and Israeli data.
The UK-Israeli data was ahead of the US, was it not?
Exactly. Well, that's kind of what they're saying. Yeah.
Oh, so more of the changes here. Walensky is appointing an executive to lead a team that will implement changes. The CDC will also create a new executive council that reports directly to Walensky to determine the agency's key priorities backed up by budget decisions.
This is so classic American administrative state. We've been talking about the administrative state, which is unelected individuals having policy control over the country. This started post-World War II in hopes to speed up, government activity. But the downside is it took out, it ignores democracy. It's an anti-democratic solution. And so I think it's interesting to fix this administrative state failure. They're introducing more bureaucracy.
More bureaucracy, yeah. And my question is, how was Walensky's role before? If everything is like, oh, we're all going to funnel everything through Walensky, and now she has an executive council to kind of filter stuff. Was her role not to be the head of the CDC before?
Yeah, right. So that doesn't really change. And that's, this is a classic leadership diversion. If you, as the leader of an organization, are being criticized for failing your leadership role, you just add more bureaucracy. It deflects responsibility from the top dog, and you do an executive board. So, whatever makes it to your desk, you can say, well, this is just what the board sent me. Okay. I'm not the boss around here. The board did it.
Right. The agency's
diffusion of power, which is a corporate strategy.
Right.
This is, this is not a democratic strategy. This is a corporate strategy. You have a board which diffuses responsibility.
Right. The agency's Science and Laboratory Sciences Division, which play crucial roles in investigating and tracking public health threats such as COVID, will also report to the CDC director. Which, again, what were they doing before? Were they not doing that?
Everybody reporting to Rochelle, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how that's any different.
The CDC is also creating an equity office to make sure agency's workforce reflects the U.S. population and better communicates public health guidance across all groups.
Got to get that ESG going.
Yeah, well, ESG
again, another corporate sort of structure.
Yeah, so that's the summary given to us by CNBC, and other than PR, I really can't see how this changes much, other than almost creating Rochelle Walensky as giving her the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. Like, hey, this is your time now.
She's keeping the keys to the kingdom, which she's always had.
Sure, but she gets to do it her own way. She walked into a situation this happens in sports all the time, where you got a new coach or a new manager, and they walk into a mess, and they got to deal with this. But then they start replacing everybody so they can put their fingerprint on the organization. So I feel that this is sort of the same thing, where it's like, okay, I walked into this situation, it didn't go well.
It's also diffusing her responsibility.
Yes.
As at the same time, she's going to be the one filling these boards. They're reporting to her. So yes, you're right. She gets to keep control. She's not losing any control, but she is diffusing responsibility, which is a pretty good position to be in as the sort of corporate leader in the institution.
Yeah. Now, there's a couple more articles that we had planned. Did you want to do this? CNN, the Biden administration will stop buying COVID-19 vaccines, treatments, and tests as early as this fall?
Yeah, I just thought we could just mention it.
Yeah.
I don't see it on the list. Where is it?
I have it here and on the screen, but I don't have it in the list.
You don't have it. Pop it on the list real quick. This was an interesting thing that just came out today, actually. So we added it right before we started the show. And here it is, CNN.com on CNN Health. Biden administration will stop buying COVID-19 vaccines, treatments, and tests as early as this fall, Jha says. The Biden administration has been planning for how to get past the crisis phase of the COVID-19 pandemic and will stop buying vaccines, treatments, and tests as early as this fall. White House COVID-19 response coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha said on Tuesday, quote, "One of the things we spent a lot of time thinking about in the last many months, and we are going to continue this work, and you'll hear more from the administration on this, is getting us out of that acute emergency phase where the U.S. government is buying the vaccines, buying the treatments, buying the diagnostic tests," Jha said at an event sponsored by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation. "My hope is that this is a quote, "My hope is that in 2023, you're going to see the commercialization of almost all these products. Some of that is basically going to begin this fall in the days and weeks ahead. You're going to see commercialization of some of these things," he said.
Okay, so it's not, all right, this is a handoff.
Availability of these products would transition to the regular healthcare system, Jha said. So if you need a vaccine or an antiviral treatment, you'd get it from your doctor or from a hospital.
Wait a minute. So is this a soft admission that this whole thing with COVID was... I'm asking a question here, Susan.
Yes, okay.
I'm asking a question whether it is a soft admission that all this that we've had with COVID and the lockdown and the rollout of the shot and everything was not part of the regular healthcare system.
That is true. Yeah, it was the state of emergency, and that's kind of the question. Is okay if the government is going to release themselves from the responsibility and they're handing it over to the commercial sector, the private sector, or whatever, the business community. What does that mean for the state of emergency that we're in? We are still in an emergency, whatever they call it. What is the term? I forget. Whatever.
Emergency
the national
use
public
authorization?
The public health emergency.
Oh, okay.
That is, it was renewed by the Biden administration recently. Because if you're in a public health emergency, it is the government's responsibility to do these things, to make these things available, to do their job, to help the community in whatever way they feel is their, whatever way is their responsibility. Taxpayer-funded vaccines, treatments, tests, things like this. So if they're handing it off to the commercial sector, you would expect them to lift the state of emergency. Because if you are in a state of emergency, requiring people to take certain actions, you can't make them pay for it themselves. That just goes against the entire idea of a state of emergency and the government's responsibility. So this might be a signal that the state of emergency for COVID-19 is being, maybe rolled back, something like that. And what will the world look like?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was a very interesting update. They're going to stop. Is at least going to be rolling back probably this fall.
Yeah, just one more line from the article. Jha said the transition to commercialization is complicated. It involves regulatory issues, market dynamic issues, and equity issues, but the administration is working carefully and thoughtfully to get it right. So they want to get it right.
One more, we got a minute or two left in this section. I was going to should we bring up the anti-vaccine activists?
Sure, yeah. Do it real quick, and because it's fun.
This is arstechnica.com put out this article. It's kind of funny. The headline, anti-vaccine activists giddily celebrate as polio virus spreads in New York.
Giddily.
Okay. They're celebrating polio is what it sounds like, Gons. As the Center for Disease Control and Prevention continues to ramp up efforts to halt the spread of polio virus in New York, man, New York is just getting battered. You got the monkeypox epicenter, the polio virus epicenter, the spread of the nuclear warnings, things like that. Halt the spread of polio virus in New York. Anti-vaccine activists are celebrating dips in childhood vaccination rates, calling them a, quote, COVID silver lining. On Tuesday, the CDC published new details on a case of the paralytic polio. Talks about the guy who got polio. And this is the fun part. As of August 10th, officials had tested 260 wastewater samples.
We'll control them with toileting.
That's right. The sewer surveillance, baby. It just keeps on rolling. 260 wastewater samples in Rockland and nearby Orange County. 21 of those 260 samples, 8%, tested positive, with positive detections spanning samples collected in April, May, June, and July. So polio has been spreading since April, apparently.
Wow.
The report notes, separately, New York officials announced last Friday, August 12th, that sewage samples in New York City had also tested positive. Yeah, there you go. There's just a little update. The sewer surveillance.
Who are the people that are giddily celebrating, though? That's who I want to know.
Anti-vaccine activists. They're horrible people.
They mention a specific name here. It says falsehood in scare quotes. On Friday, the anti-vaccine organization Children's Health Defense published an article calling the dip in vaccination a silver lining, a COVID silver lining. The site, run by prominent anti-vaccine activist and prolific peddler of dangerous misinformation, Robert F. Kennedy, had falsely claimed previously that a vaccination dip in 2020 led to a dramatic reduction in deaths from sudden infant death syndrome. CDC data, however, indicates that the rate of SIDS actually increased slightly in 2020 compared to 2019, but has stayed relatively stable for several years. And I thought that was interesting given the state of the CDC. Currently, with the restructuring and everything, the Ars Technica relying on CDC data here.
Right, and the admission that CDC data moves slowly. So if they're talking about 2020, who knows, And
at the bottom, it says, while the spread in polio in New York poses little risk to those who are vaccinated, which is the vast majority of the U.S. population, experts fear that such outbreaks will become more and more common as anti-vaccine sentiments proliferate.
Yeah, that's very interesting, especially because of the reports of vaccine-derived polio being the source of this new polio.
Reports. We're not saying that that's what's happening. It's a report.
No, this is mainstream reports. I believe even CNN reported it itself, the vaccine-derived polio. Yeah. This is not medical misinformation. This is mainstream reporting on the polio cases. So, there you go. Very interesting updates.
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break here. Break. This is break. Don't just consume the content, but become the content. Become the content. Take a break. All right, we're going to thank our producers who came in with their talent. We call upon all the people listening out there to become producers of the show by contributing with your God-given talent. Don't just consume the content. Actually provide value back by building the culture behind the community here at Canary Cry News Talk. All we ask is that whatever you make is for the show. And we're going to kick things off with some audio production.
Audio production.
This first one is from Marty B.
Biden's your Marty B jingle.
And Marty B sends a note. I nominate this jingle for most irritating jingle. Thankfully, it's only once a year. You didn't tell me who made the monkeypox jingle. Who did the monkeypox jingle? We've had several of them.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah. Let me
I think Marty B did one of them.
Marty B did one. I got to go back into the archives and look at exactly who. But, we'll get back to you on that. And then Jesus, would you play Jesus, My Savior, at the end of the show? Yeah, we can do that. Sure. But this is the according to Marty B, the most irritating jingle.
Black Cat Appreciation Day. Very fun.
Well, that's what it is. Today's Black Cat Appreciation Day.
Only comes once a year, folks.
Yeah.
It looks like Jonathan F. did a monkeypox jingle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple people. Some 40 doing? We'll see.
I don't know. I don't know which one he's talking about.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's Jonathan F. did the one with the, there's a monkeypox in the closet.
Right.
The one with Chris Griffin in it, which I think is the only other one that we play. I think Marty B did the other monkeypox jingle.
Well, who did the one with the actual monkey sounds? Was that Marty B?
I thought that was Marty B. Was it not?
I don't remember.
It may not have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's keep
Might
going.
have been Ghosternaut or something. But I appreciate that, Marty B. Yes, thankfully we only play that once a year, and it'll be 2023 the next time you hear that one.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Caleb here. And Caleb came in with a note here, made a Kamala Harris jingle. Didn't think you had one. We kind of have a quasi-Kamala jingle here. Or could be used for Biden. How's the volume? We'll listen to it. I noticed the jingle I did in the past was a touch loud when it came through on your end. Also, if you have any critiques or tips on my jingles, let me know. Listeners can also reach me on Discord. I'm the Caleb with a U. So if anybody has comments on Caleb's jingles here. So this is the Kamala Biden jingle.
All kidding aside, of course, President Harris.
We got to take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to have to take it seriously. President Harris.
Wow, that's good. Yeah. She didn't even have to. That's like a real quote that she said. It's not even edited together.
Oh, yeah, no, she has a bunch of crazy quotes. It'd be funny to do, Biden says his President Kamala thing, and then put the, I'm Vice President Kamala Harris, I'm a woman of color, and I'm wearing a blue suit.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that audio was not very good, but the ISO from that thing there.
Got it.
Thank you very much, Caleb. Appreciate it. Let's do some art.
One art, please.
And let's start with Dame Allie of the Skillet Nation.
One art, please. Another one from Allie now. Here it is.
And this one comes with a haiku accompanying it. And, as I always, I need to say more often, like at the top of the show when we talk about breaks and stuff, because breaks are content. It is content. And, some stories that we may not cover may get covered during the breaks. And so this one is also accompanied by a Dame Epony Blaze haiku. So let's do that here. This one is called Bide in Her Time, a Dame Ebony Blaze haiku. Catastrophe on South Carolina beach trip. Joe gave Jill cooties. Maybe it was the white knuckle beachfront bike ride. Click link for pictures. Joe still showed up. Signed Inflation Reduction Act. He wore his mask, though.
And here we have a beautiful pencil portrait headshot of Jill Biden. She's got her lizard eyes. She's got her flyaway little pieces of hair floating around. You know what? Dame Allie just keeps getting better and better and better. Of course, we say it all the time. The hair. Jill's hair in this one, really exquisitely done by Dame Allie. So thank you very much. Beautiful. The lighting is perfect. She's got that presidential, first
Twinkle.
lady smile. Yes, she's got the twinkle in her eyes, brightening up those beautiful lizard eyeballs.
And the article, yes, is from New York Post here. First Lady Jill Biden, 71, tests positive. And I can't get the whole thing to pop up here. But
she couldn't keep away from it forever, apparently.
Yeah, and I think what was it, the Pfizer CEO? Somebody else got it, too.
Yeah, one of the CEOs. I think it was Pfizer.
Yeah.
Just got it, too. Could have been the Moderna guy. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dame Allie.
Thank you, Dame Allie. All right. Next up, we have Sir Dove Knight of Rusbeltia. Oh, no, where's my jingle? Oh, here it is. Sir Dove Knight of Rusbeltia.
One art, please, from Dove.
And he has a note here. He says, peace. For today's artwork, I did a flyer for the Denton, Texas meetup next month at the Schnizzle Dizzle residence. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for you.
Denton, Texas meetup? Do you know about a Denton, Texas meetup?
Oh, yeah.
Is this us just learning about the Denton, Texas meetup?
I kind of quasi knew about it. I think they asked us to forward some info to Dove to put together a flyer, and so Dove came through.
That's great. We do not have it on the meetup site yet, but Denton, Texas, wake up, folks. You got the Canary Cry Backyard Barbecue at Schnizzle Dizzles, Denton, Texas, afternoon and evening, September 3rd. Contact Adam Bomb. Oh, yeah, ADDAM, Adam Bomb, BOMB 101 at gmail.com. Adam Bomb 101 at gmail.com with 2 Ds. And yes, we've got the background image of what looks to be some kind of old-timey government building in Texas. Here you've got the American flag, the Texas flag waving. Looks like maybe a Capitol building or something. And you've got a googly-eyed Texan Canary wearing his cowboy hat. He's got his blue plaid shirt on. He's wearing his Tweet Tweet Hungry Boys apron, and he's sitting in front of a CCR branded barrel grill there, cooking up some mates for the Denton, Texas meetup. Thank you very much, Sir Dove. And yes, we will get the Canary Cry Backyard Barbecue at Schnizzle Dizzles, Denton, Texas meetup September 3rd. Information up on the website, canarycrymeetups.com.
Yep, there you go. Thank you to our artists. And I believe it is time to do some microfiction here. Yeah, we got a couple of microfiction to go through.
Microfiction.
First one from Runk Smash.
Basil, after ending the final episode of CCNT, dives deep into the metaverse to track down Rooster at the digital ruins on the Seven Hills. Midway through his plea to Rooster, Basil's avatar freezes and disappears as his headset smashes to the ground. Oh no!
Truly apocalyptic.
Oh no! Thank you very much, Runk Smash.
Thank you, Runk Smash. And we'll get back to you. You had a note.
Yes, we have it. We
deliberated and we shall return.
Email.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also got one from the Sentinel.
Johnny Cale completes his final lap. He zooms by Basil and snatches one of his 2 white flags. Johnny is now only 1 flag away from being the Alpha Boy Supreme. He turns to his Skatanic master, John Grease, who is watching from the crowd, hoping to receive even the smallest gesture of approval. He receives none. His hatred deepens. Only the cold words, "Finish him," reach the boy's ears. Johnny Cale turns back towards Basil, charging him like an angry bull. Basil is on one knee. He sees Johnny coming straight towards him, and at the last moment dives out of the way. The crowd gasps. Basil stands up. He's back to the Alpha Boy, a black flag in his hand. Ooh, watch out. Old Basil Quick Hands is coming for you, Johnny Cale.
Maybe he invoked, you invoked the robot arm to
perhaps
do some kind of sneaky flag grabbing.
The secret weapon. Thank you very much, the Sentinel, and all of our artists contributing to the show here today. If you are a creative person, no matter what you do, if it's art, if it's jingles, if it's music, if it's microfiction, or something that I am not naming, or perhaps you have a small child who has to, spend some time coloring every day, get them to do some art. That's a great way to help out with the community here. Whatever you do, you can send your art to canarycryradio@gmail.com, canarycryradio@gmail.com, and we'll get it on the show. Thank you very much.
Yep, let's wake up and let's land this plane.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
This last segment here, it's going to be biblical.
It's got to be biblical.
It's going to be a scientific, I guess. It's Armageddon.
Armageddon's on the way.
Oh boy.
Yeah. This first one, we got a couple things to just touch on. I don't want to spend too much time on each of these, but it's just it's fun. It's interesting. This one from ctvnews.ca. I thought I had a different source. I thought I had The Guardian here. Maybe The Guardian is in the link. Oh, here's The Guardian one. Okay. Same story, different outlet, The Guardian. And the headline, De-extinction. Scientists are planning the multi-million-dollar resurrection of the Tasmanian tiger.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. The University of Melbourne partners with U.S. biotech company to plan genetic restoration of the thylacine. And there's a picture up here of the thylacine, I guess. Maybe? I don't know. The last known Tasmanian devil says, or Tasmanian tiger. Scientists in Australia and the U.S. have launched an ambitious multi-million-dollar project to bring back the thylacine, a marsupial that died out in the 1930s, and reintroduce it to its native Tasmania. The thylacine is also known as the Tasmanian tiger, is the second undertaking by Colossal, a Texas-based biotechnology de-extinction company that last year announced its plans to use genetic engineering techniques to recreate the woolly mammoth and return it to the Arctic tundra. Yeah, we remember that one. So yeah, the list of animals to resurrect is growing.
It's an interesting business model. Your whole business is
resurrecting animals.
Resurrecting extinct animals. I wonder who's paying for this. That's interesting.
Oh, the lizard people. Scientists aim to reverse this by taking stem cells from living species with similar DNA, the fat-tailed Dunart, and turning them into thylacine cells, or the closest approximation possible, using gene editing expertise developed by George Church, a professor of genetics at Harvard Medical School and Colossal's co-founder. I wonder if it's...
they received a $5 million philanthropic gift
from
to open a thylacine genetic restoration lab. Yeah, who is paying for the restoration? I mean, we've seen this movie before. Sure. We know how this works.
Yeah.
No longer science fiction. $5 million gift brings de-extinction of the thylacine. Okay, who gave this gift? Thinks it's a philanthropic gift. The gift will be used. Okay, we know how it's going to be used. Thanks to the generous funding, we're at a turning point where we can develop the technologies. Yes, okay.
It looks like somebody in, what is this, in Melbourne, some university in Melbourne? Is that what this is? Oh,
I think the university in Melbourne is partnering with
this individual.
With Colossal.
Okay.
To bring back the animal. But it does not, I'm not seeing who the philanthropic gift is from.
Soros?
Lizard people.
Hillary?
Yeah.
Trump? Oh, it'd be great if it was Trump.
Probably not Trump, but who knows?
I brought back the tigers. Look, I'm funding science.
That is an interesting way to sort of change his anti-science reputation that he's gained over the years.
Make tigers great again.
He would love one of these. He's probably going to have one stuffed and put in next to his gold toilet.
We need to fight the Putin's robot dogs.
Yeah, we're going to put some rocket launchers on the back of these tigers, and they're going to be way cooler than Chinese robot dogs.
One more quick one.
Okay.
This is from CBS News. Headline, pig skin protein gives sight back to 14 blind people, including 3 with perfect vision. So more biblical stuff going on here. 20 people who are blind or on the verge of being so have had some or all of their sight restored thanks to a food industry byproduct, pig skin. Researchers from Linköping University and Linkocare Life Sciences AB were able to give the group their vision back with a special corneal implant made from medical-grade collagen from porcine skin, a purified food industry byproduct that's used in FDA-approved medical devices for treating glaucoma. The implant was given to those who suffer from diseased corneas, the outermost and transparent layer of the eye, an issue that affects millions of people worldwide.
Chicharrones. They're getting their chicharrones eyes. Are you a fan of the chicharrones, Gons? That's the fried pig skins. Low carb. It's your low carb solution to potato chips. You get your chicharrones going, get some lime on there, and suddenly your eyes are fixed. What a wonderful...
What's up with all this pig stuff? We got pig organs being resurrected. We got pig brains that were resurrected. You got Neuralink connecting computers to brains.
The pigs, man. Yeah, the pigs. Something about them. They are the answer to our genetic future.
The pig behinds, remember? The pig behinds.
Breathing through the pig intestines. Yeah, we're going to get the human tests going on that.
Well, where's the PETA? The people, or PEPA?
The pigs.
I don't know. The people, whatever the thing stands for.
The pigs for the ethical treatment of people. Oh, that is interesting. I wonder why. Yeah, it's always the pigs, man.
The pigs. Okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe Legion is still inhabiting the pigs, and so the big secret plan is the way to get demons into people is to get the pigs into people. That's why you can't eat pigs in so many of the Abrahamic religions because you can't get the Legion in there. And then, of course, we got to get them in other ways. We got to give them a pig cornea. Why not just take the pig cornea? Why you got to make it out of the pig skin? I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But bringing things back to 20/20 vision, perfect vision, I think that's an interesting detail.
Yes, yes, 20/20.
You get your perfect vision back because of these pig parts being installed in your eyeballs. So no longer is it just like, this could help someone in the future. It's like, boom, you're back to normal, baby. Thanks, pigs. Thanks, chicharrones.
Yep. All right, that's a show. I got to get out of here.
Okay, you're right. You've got an important thing to get off to.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody, for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But before that, I want to thank our executive producers. We couldn't do anything without our producers of the show. This entire program is only possible because of our producers. And our executive producers for today's show, PB and Jamie, and Fuego Stomper, extinguisher of fiery darts. Thank you guys so much. And my goodness, those came in at just the right moment, right before the show. It would have been a bit scary with you guys coming in. So thank you. And for all you other people out there, consider becoming a producer of the show, just like all the producers who made this show happen with their time, their talent, or their treasure. You can start by heading on over to canarycryradio.com/support.
canarycryradio.com/support. Don't forget to thank Sir Darren, Knight of the Hungry Panda.
Of course, yes. Congratulations to Sir Darren, Knight of the Hungry Panda, for making it to the Canary Cry Roundtable of Knights and Dames. This is a good reminder for people to check your accounting with your producing. That's what Darren did. Darren was actually had qualified quite a bit ago. He just didn't check. So check your PayPal, check your records. Some of you may be eligible to get knighted or damed as well. Just send us an email. Let us know. Now, like I said, you can support the show with your time, your talent, or your treasure. All three are essential to making this show what it is. And I'd like to thank some producers who really bless us with their time and working on stuff in the back end, starting with our Clippies. Clippy on those videos. Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Clippies. They keep the Canary Cry Clips channel going. They manage it. They populate it. They're doing an excellent job. And, hey, everybody should go over to the Canary Cry Clips channel and just leave some comments thanking Emsworth and Faye Liverin for all the hard work they put into that channel. We are so appreciative. You guys rule.
Yeah, thank you.
Also, we've got the timestampers to thank.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
And I am led to believe that the last episode was time-stamped by Jade Bouncerson. Is that correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jade Bouncerson,
Thank you, Jade Bouncerson,
for doing the timestamps. It goes into so much of what we do on the back end.
Yeah.
Of course, thank you to our social media gal, Dame Miss G of the OV and the Deep Rivers, for making sure the art gets up on the social medias. And we still don't have a jingle for the social media.
Yeah, we kind of have that background music here, but that's
that's not what we need. We need a nice poppy. You want to just listen to this? Yeah, no, we need a nice poppy social media jingle, boys and girls.
Yeah.
Thank you, please, and thank you.
Yeah.
Of course, head on over. I will say it one more again.
One more time.
One more again. CanaryCryMeetups.com.
Canary Cry Meetup.
They just keep rolling in, folks. There's meetups popping up all over the country. Go check the meetup site, CanaryCryMeetups.com. See if there's a meetup near you. If there's not one, put one on yourself. Be like Chibi. Be like Chibi and the rest of the Canary Cry meetup hosts. If there's not one near you, put one on yourself. It's so simple. Just pick a time and a place, let us know about it, and we'll tell the world. It's a great way to get connected to people who are more like you than the ones that are currently in your life. I don't know. That's just an assumption. But we'll see you at the meetup.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Big shout out to Banana on a Mission over at DLive. Looks like they took the time producer kind of little quizzy poo that I have over at canarycryradio.com/support. If you want to get involved in ways that are not financially or with, making art or something, you can go to canarycryradio.com/support. And down at the bottom of that page, we have a little survey. It's very simple. I mean, it's kind of fun. I made it myself, having a good time. If you take the survey, answer a few questions, and you get put on a list here on our back end, and we'll contact you about perhaps getting involved with helping with some of the stuff. I mean, it's a great way to help produce the show. So go to Canary Cry, either canarycry.support or canarycryradio.com/support, and go all the way to the bottom, fill out that survey, and we can get you plugged in to helping us do some very important things. I mean, we do a lot. There is a lot of infrastructure to our community, and most of it is not done by Gonzarai. It's done by producers.
Yeah.
So go fill that out. Shout out to you, Banana on a Mission. Leave us ratings and reviews over on Apple Podcasts. It's really helpful. That's right. If you go over to Apple Podcasts, any Apple device has it. It's a little purple icon. Search for Canary Cry News Talk and leave a rating and a review. It's very important to us because we can't leave reviews for ourselves. And in the sort of podcasting, podcastiverse, ratings and reviews are essential. Just absolutely essential. Not just because, if people look us up and they see what you think of the show, that is part of it. But when we get 5 or more ratings and reviews a week, the algorithms kick into gear and start sharing the show with people. And people are just delighted to have Canary Cry News Talk put in front of them by the robots. I know. We're not huge fans of algorithms, and they hurt us more than they help us. That's kind of the thing. In our genre, algorithms are more designed to sabotage us than they are to help us. And these rating and review algorithms are literally the one way that we can utilize these ratings and utilize the algorithms to actually help us. So please be a part of that. Go to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and a review. Help us out. But if we get 5 or more by Friday, which it doesn't really look like we're going to do, but it could all turn around. If you help us out by Friday, if we get 5 or more, you'll make me go, ooh, woo.
Yeah.
Thank you to Jam for the article lists that you send us. And other than that, just share the show. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Share it with the scientists in your life, because here's what we got to do. We got to get all these CRISPR educated, the genomic experts. They're bringing back the woolly mammoth. They're bringing back the Tasmanian tiger. They're getting philanthropic support to make all these crazy things happen. Here's what we got to do. We got to start a campaign. We got to find some sort of eccentric billionaire that's willing to fund the genetic resurrection of the truth canary, which went extinct somewhere in the mid-20th century. Nobody's seen a truth canary for decades. And you know what? Look what's happening. The truth canary goes extinct, and suddenly
banned off Twitch.
He gets banned off Twitch, gets banned off YouTube. The truth canaries are dropping like flies, folks. So go ahead, send this podcast to all the eccentric billionaires you know, send it to all the scientists you know, and we really need to get PETA on this, Pigs for the Ethical Treatment of Canaries, and we gotta get these canaries back up and flying, baby, because without the truth canary, how will anybody know how to rattle cages? And that's what you should be doing. So go ahead, go to college, go to second college, probably go to third college, do everything you need to do to become some sort of the evil scientist who wants to resurrect long dead species, because if they're gonna bring back the mammoth and Tasmanian tiger, what are we even doing if we're not bringing back the truth canary? That's just one way you can share the show. You don't have to do it that way, but if you need any more instructions, here's what you do. We call it rattling cages. You just walk right up to them, grab them by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Any last words, Gons?
Thank you. Appreciate all of you. And we'll see you Friday.
Indeed. We'll see you Friday. It's going to be a great show, folks. All right. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
This is the way.
It will kill.
This is the way.
We're all gonna die.
I love the Great Reset.
This is the way.
We will hunt you down and make you pay.
This is the way.
Give me a break. Feed him more.
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths.
This is the United States of America, for God's sake.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
You little rascal. I am so hot.
You're so hot.
I'm... Gons. I am so hot. So hot.
I was alone on the road, going nowhere.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.